The following may include subject matters of war, violence, loss, and adult themes which may not be appropriate for all audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Episode 38, Roots. The Fellowship makes camp, grappling with the knowledge that their ship has been stolen by Capio Secundus, and the men that crewed it, murdered by the same. A man named Khalid comes upon their camp, successfully sneaking up on Titus and Marcus before declaring himself. Although a vague feeling of unease settles onto Titus about this newcomer, Marcus is unable to pinpoint anything amiss. Titus furthers his burgeoning understanding of Concord, the sentient weapon of myth that has been wielded by the two champions of the goddess of justice before him. She underscores that each relationship with the three champions is different and must be studiously worked toward, partially motivated by a dream Marcus had, and also the grim fact they have no way of preserving Merrick's body for what will now be an uncertain trip home. The Fellowship returns to the cathedral they fought so hard inside just the day before and bury their fallen comrade beside a Callan fruit bush that has sprung up miraculously overnight. During their farewells, a seemingly revived Uriah comes stumbling from the cathedral doors, his memory hazy other than a woman's voice told him he had work yet to do and to rise. Khalid, the man that found the party's camp, is part of Grip's former crew. Khalid leads them back to the half-dozen survivors of that ship, the Zephyr, whom they find in the midst of a heated argument. Titus promptly chokes the captain, lifting him from the ground with one hand for attempting to interfere with Marcus's healing of another crew member. Ultimately, Grip reveals he's been trained as a shipwright, and the path of salvaging enough material to construct a vessel in time to return home seems at least possible.
And welcome to Darkeport, faraway friends, connoisseurs of fantasy, and curiosity seeker the realms over. Thank you for joining us once more. We appreciate that.
Yay! Yay!
Cheers! Also, I have just been informed that Grim Reefer, you mad lad, you have just dropped 5 gifties already.
Aww!
Yay!
You prince.
So,
To the Reefer.
A prince among men, yes, indeed. I want to briefly acknowledge that on the long, I was going to use the word slog, but it's not. But it is sometimes it is a grind on the long road to sustainability and to visibility, we are now really closing in on that 1,000 subscriber mark, which would be
very useful.
It's a big deal.
99.
It's a big deal. We just cracked into the 900s now, so thank you so much for spreading the word. That's amazing. We really, really appreciate it, and it definitely does help like continue the story and just make real life stuff easier. So, thanks.
All sorts of stuff.
And we have, I know I'm forgetting something else, but I don't remember what it is. So, what's that?
Sponsor. We also
Well, no,
have
we're gonna-
who
we're gonna
won
go
last
sponsors, but-
MVP.
Yes, thank you. That's what it was because it was so. Y'all, I don't always see, because we have it in two places right now. I don't always see stuff that comes in like around after I'd say 4 or 5 because I'm running around like a chick with my head cut off, getting ready. However, we did have a tiebreaker because and you know how much I love having to break ties.
Oh wow!
So we had Marcus and Wesa were tied. I think you
Then
said
they arm wrestled and Waisel won.
I think you said. I mean, clearly. I think Tobias, you set a Darkeport record for most honorable mentions.
Oh,
Because you
thank you.
got like
Thank you so
3 or
much.
something honorable mentions.
that's all I ever wanted.
I just asked you not to.
Well, all the second place is on everyone else's
Yeah.
ballot.
And I was really moved by some of the some of the comments of why people were voting for the different characters. I really, really appreciated that.
Yep.
But Marcus, you won. So you now have a total of 9.
Okay.
Give me back my shovel.
Okay. So now, because at 10 something character defining occurs, not that second obviously, but it gets woven into the narrative.
You lose a hand.
So from now on, we can't vote for Marcus anymore. We just have to keep Randy.
Game the system. Vote only for Marcus.
No.
Socialism for Darkeport.
It still counts. It still counts. It's just that Randy's been eyeballing that 10 for a while, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
he's been
that.
paying people off, I hear.
Yeah.
You know, it's
It's okay, Randy. You can admit
But
it.
please vote, and also you
admit it.
can vote
You can
for
admit it.
Toby. Please vote for Toby if you want it.
Okay, so with that, I think we have the matter of a little sponsor.
Yes, thank you yet again to the wonderful folks of Eldritch Foundry.
Yeah.
We're very thankful to have them continuing along this journey with us. They are the makers of fine miniatures of all kinds, regardless of campaign setting or race or style. You're limited only by your creativity with their very useful and fun tool that you can check out by clicking the link in the video description below. There's going to be fun colors to play with, I hear, any day now, which is so cool. We love color. So do check them out. Eldritch Foundry. Great guys. We love you.
Shading and everything. Speaking of the two, are we gonna show those?
Oh yes, we do. I think we have the battle cam set up for it. So Melissa continues to be amazing, our artistic maven, our kind of practical effects maven, and she did an updated Marcus, and he looks beautiful. She did some incredible detail on the shield. She's also going to take shots of it so that you can see the shields because it has like Toya's. It has a blend. You'll see it anyway. And then she did, to me, a really spectacular looking Wesa as well.
And these were designed in Eldritch Foundries.
These were both Eldritch Foundry.
Awesome.
I designed them, and then she painted them.
Nice.
So yep. And I will pass that, Donnie, if you wanna pass those around, and then those can go to the peoples.
Wow.
Marcus, I'm
sorry,
And you get to see.
This is a badass way.
I
So
know, she's all grown up now.
She's all grown up.
She's got
the pie has morphed into a bow.
She's wearing the
Pie is retired.
We always.
If I'm feeling particularly puckish, I may use.
Even back in Juramentum?
I may
Wow,
use.
I love that.
I may use the pie. It's beautiful.
Your armor.
I may use the pie for a merchant woman now.
flashbacks.
I may use Wace's old. Oh, and flashbacks. There you go.
When things were easy.
Very cool.
So we are happy for that, and
Wow. Yeah, he's very attractive.
as did Marcus.
It's a hot little statue.
This is most the reason we
Did Marcus get a glow up?
things, right?
Did Marcus get a glow up on the island?
I
Okay.
think he just looks like Grip to you.
Maybe a little bit. Yeah.
Everyone
He looks like
does.
Josh Brolin. That's
You
the
look
vibe.
amazing. Wow.
It's so good. Thank
And
you.
now
Melissa.
we
Appreciate
have
For your age, too.
Candle of Tales.
The candle of
Whoa.
We're doing it.
Huzzah.
We're doing it. And Lord Titus, you have a little something to share with us.
To write something?
Yeah, you were.
Let's hope he did.
Well,
Listen and I might. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm writing one.
I was. Never mind.
Oh, we're gonna have to.
We're good.
Then
I will
we're-
have two.
I mean, I thought we confirmed that it was going to be me next.
Oh,
Today.
no. Yours after me.
Gotcha.
But
Okay.
both. Journal fights. Fine.
Do it.
All right. What is your weight? I remember asking him so long ago. Feels like a flicker and a memory shattered of my own doubt. I used to say 4,000 souls was what made me who I was meant to be. What a child not so long ago. A foolish boy chasing an adventure though masked in a greater purpose. A boy on a boat, now a brother in mourning. The island changes the shape as it changes those who step foot on her. Borealis, whose blood was blackened and his heart pined. In the end, remorseful and grateful to be released of his own corruption. The power he sought damned his soul, but in death it gave him peace. Cassius spoke Capio as a death tamer, though death was kind to Borealis. Then the death I gave him was atonement, and he became who he was before the island. My piety was a fool's whisper before this day, the day I buried my friend. I now know that death can be a piece, and a part of the soul will live on forever. For when my hand removed the collar on that beach, I was not Titus Metellus Glabriel Vaughan. It was my friend. It was Myrick. His weight is a dream. I cannot understand how he could have moved with that weight, but now he does not carry it alone. How could he have ever been, though? How could he ever truly be gone if the dream endures? The halls of Jason Tenderheart are alive again from his sacrifice, and this world will awake again in light.
Thank you, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.
All you had to do was die, man. I think it gets me right.
I'll just Johnny to write a nice journal.
Do you want to read yours, or do you want to,
No, it's fine.
evolve it?
No worries.
Yeah. Okay.
No worries.
Forgot.
We'll see what
Yeah, sorry. I thought we had confirmed. I just got it mixed up, I guess.
we will see what is still relevant at the end. Okay. So we had just had a grip who revealed himself to be capable of building boats, being a shipwright, one might even say. So all heads snap over to you. You have a recently choked Captain Desumius, who's still rubbing his neck and has backed away from Titus warily, looking over at you with fresh eyes, because of course this was your sponsor, your captor, your somewhat incidental mentor, because he did teach you how to run a ship, at least through observation. And he's eyeballing you now in an entirely different way. You never thought to share this with the rest of the class.
You didn't ask. So, fellows,
Where do we start?
so just for our sake, I have a loose idea of how long this might take based on extrapolation of materials gathered and whatever. And this is going to be a moon, less, depends, right?
Keep track of these rolls, Toby. So let's make the first conception roll here to see in the abstract idea.
Conception.
Intelligence based, and you do have proficiency. You do have
I
proficiency. in it.
totally had the same thought.
It's a 15 total.
Okay.
Hey.
So you look out, and there are some key pieces in this Sargasso Sea that you might be able to salvage that you're looking at.
So my presumption was that we are just going to have to find the best pieces around and kind of cobble them together and then patch the rest.
You are the problem. So the big split is if you're going to try to create a like a docking cradle to build the ship in, which would get it up off the ground and allow you to manipulate it, or if you're just going to try to grab pieces and, like you said, cobble them together, which may or may not get you drowned on your way home.
There were other pieces on the other side of the island, were there not? About other broken ships.
If you have a way of dragging ship's pieces across an island, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the obstacle there.
There were actually more pieces on the south because her Marine Majesty, Serene's a totally different creature. Her Marine Majesty has been usually will destroy the ships coming up, and they don't think to go around. Your captain thought to avoid that. Thought he was being quite clever by circumnavigating the island and met the same fate. He was not the first person to think of that either.
It's going to depend on what can be salvaged. Aren't you so excited to go back to the south? It's where the most pieces are.
We're relocating?
If that's what you suggest.
Well,
we stay
that's
away?
where the most likely case of finding the most intact pieces would be. So,
Apart from
find what we can, put it together, see how we can patch it. It's not going to be easy.
on the way back, we should make our fell whatever trees that we see may be worthy. I can drag them along the beach within the water. During that time, whenever we're lighting a fire, we can combine the ash and make a pitch tar. At least we'd have some type of sealant before it.
Sure.
If anyone has any spare armor or resources laying around, perhaps we should use those and repurpose them for nails.
Wait, so why would you cut down trees to carry them across the island? Aren't there plenty of trees there?
Some trees are more worthy than others.
I suppose. Well, in either case, we're going to be here for a while.
And I trust you.
I thought you were all done with trust.
You shouldn't, the captain says.
And then Titus is
What
going
would
to
you
walk up
know?
and go directly abreast of the captain and be like, And then he's going to push right by him and start walking towards Grip.
Okay.
If we can gather the rope here, I am really good with thatching. The rope might be useful to help build whatever we need to brace the ship.
In your wait, you never know. You never did see. You never got a close inspection because you never broke the tree line and that whole thing, so you don't know the southern shore.
I was saying we at least poked our heads out. At least she was adamant about poking her head
She
out.
did. She was. I just watched that scene again to make sure, and she, even though she had started to, you got dragged back into the discussion. So
I would at least know that there
are definitely more parts over there, and you think that anything you can find here, you can find more of there, including trees.
Yeah. So I'd make that known.
I'm sure there's some rope at Borales' camp.
Not to mention nails, hammers, things to keep things in repair.
Depending on how it fell with Zolsh's tent, hopefully it won't be in complete disrepair.
Oh, good.
So do we go into teams now or something and get what we need?
Grip?
Yeah, I suppose.
Don't be too sure of yourself. He's gonna slap you on the shoulder.
How are our food resources?
Decent for now, but you're going to have to start hunting. There's no way that what you gathered off of the men is going to last you this entire attempt.
We can put all the rotten things in, and I can make it better, purify it, so that it will last us longer to stretch further.
The captain looks at you. You can.
Indeed. Do we have rotten food I can prove it with?
It's not proof I'm looking for, friend. I've just never heard of mana bending like that before, and I've seen my fair share of benders, believe me.
Lots of things in this great big world.
I guess so. Okay.
So, let me just make sure I understand. You have a purpose here. You have a village you want to cleanse. You intend to come back.
Well, if we're here, then I'll get to it.
You really think you're gonna come back to this place?
We made a promise. I intend to come back at the very least.
We've got the time.
That's what I'm saying. Now that I have something that you want, what about what I want?
The dragon. Is that it?
I have questions. I might never get this chance again.
What questions do you have?
Doesn't matter.
If you want us to risk our lives, it very much does matter. You want us to trust you, you want to trust us. It does not go both ways. So start talking about what you need here, and we'll see if we can help and get it done for you.
I want to talk to the dragon.
Doesn't like to be talked to very much. I can tell you that for a fact.
What do you want to ask the dragon?
Maybe a little unorthodox. Can I ask you to make like a persuasion check? Is that crazy? Is that too above the table?
The strongest it's going to be. The strongest it's going to be is a strong suggestion.
Yeah. I mean, if it hits like a 15 or something like that.
That you're trying to persuade them.
That she's trying to persuade me to offer information.
True. I'm gonna go ahead and remind everybody what your charisma is.
I'm rocking a 19.
So when he's speaking, Tobias, I know this is going to wound you, Tobias. You may not have a 19 charisma in real life, but factor that in as you're speaking to the character. That he's like, there's a certain weight behind his words that absolutely should not be there for a scrawny 13-year-old.
That's scrawny.
If you want, no, that's true. No, that's true. Actually, he's not. Take that back. He's just ridiculously buffed. Yeah, he's just tiny. If you want to,
I mean,
I don't
say it above the table. I mean,
yeah, I don't like that precedent. Let's, just however it hits your character is how it hits your character.
If we're here and you want to speak to this dragon, then why wouldn't you speak to us about it first? We did meet it for the first time.
Waisa would say in whatever dragon, Draconic.
Draconic.
Ooh.
All out in the open.
The captain, the second mate, and the cabin boy all kind of jump away a little bit from you when you start, speaking in something that's harsher than Klingon.
that's a hard change.
She has a cold.
So you say in Draconic, all out in the open?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And back in responding in Draconic, I would say, what would you do to know where you came from?
Waisa nods. It's important for him. It's really what he needs. And I think for him to be able to join us here, it's necessary. I'm willing to risk and support the mission.
But if we meet the dragon again, there's no protection we have.
What could we offer him? Maybe an apology?
I've since apologized. So did my friend Cassius.
Are we seriously talking about, so there's a dragon, a confirmed actual dragon on this island?
You haven't seen it?
No, and I don't want to.
And go start gathering timber. South of the island.
I'll need a guide. I'm not going onto this cursed island without somebody who knows where they're going.
Didn't you say that he was nested
Avad nods.
where the village is? Wouldn't he have to be removed in order to do your rites anyway?
I don't know that to be true. I don't mean to make him move, but I do need to go there.
If he's claimed it as his territory, he's not going to want to leave unless there's a very compelling reason to do so. And he won't let you just do whatever it is you have to do.
Waisa, make a dragon lore roll, and you have proficiency with this because of the Oxcon.
Okay, what is that?
Basically,
friends, I would like to point
basically
out-
a specific history check.
Okay. What you said with proficiency bonus, so like 19?
19? Okay. The Oxcon provides you some more images, and this time they're not like fragmented and scattered. They're more whole, and you can follow the narrative a bit. And essentially what Grip is saying is correct, that you don't currently see a way that you're going to enact these rituals while Tecpotl is sitting there. He's not going to allow anybody or anything to go in.
My friends, I'd like to point out, Grip, I understand your desire, but if you happen to perish before we build the ship, we will all be stuck here. Perhaps towards the end,
What
when
a
the ship's
shame
almost
that would
made.
be.
It would be a shame.
Well, let's get our priorities straight, huh? Why don't we get production going? And you and I can concoct a smart plan to have a time with the dragon.
Okay. I can do that for now. Let's go.
Well, this has been going on. The second mate, Zuma, with his excellent eyesight, had caught that Uriah's jerkin, the recently returned to life Uriah's jerkin, has a gaping hole both over the heart, both in the front and in the back, an exit wound in the back. And he's like, he's not really making any attempt to hide his emotions about that, and just kind of shakes his head and decides not to pursue it. All right, who is going
a lot of free clothes and a lot of dead men.
who is going to help? Who is going to help Cornelius hobble across the island?
I have
You
claimed
will?
ownership of him already. I have my freedom, so I'll help him.
Okay.
How damaged is he? I know the poison was racking through him, but does he look like he has any physical, like
His leg,
rot, stuff like that?
his leg. Well, like I said last session, you got to him just in time to prevent the worst of the infection, and because you actually have now fully and completely neutralized the poison.
Thank you.
So he's going to be limping for a while. You don't see any other injury though on him. Okay. You turn around, start making your way back. You see the captain kind of, even though he had talked about having a guide, he seems really reluctant, and he just looks at you, and because you know that his entire life was invested in that ship, and he's just shaking his head, looking at, and obviously you and Dasumius have had your differences over the years, but the fact is he's been your captain for years.
We will rebuild, my friend.
You have more faith than I do.
We just need to get back.
You're right. There's nothing we can do now. I just have to write it off. It's gone. That ledger's closed. Fuck. And he turns and starts walking. Okay. And then again, back through what Grip initially passed before you encountered Tesserin. But now it's all just kind of unremarkable, lightly wooded island.
We can take probably the trebuchets or all those catapults, take them apart. That might be very useful.
You have to go back to the camp first.
As you get to Barolis' camp, Randy, I'm going to have you make a survival check for Avad.
12.
12? Okay. Yeah, that's more than enough.
Plus 12.
So he expertly guides you through. I just wanted to see if there was any other incident, because this is a lot of people now, and this is not an optimal situation. So if anybody stepped in a sinkhole, or anybody got bitten by a snake, or any just crap happened, because the island is not oddly pristine anymore. This is now just a wild, untamed area. It's actually pretty dangerous.
Grandpa style.
So there's a small scorpion that he makes sure that the group doesn't get involved with as you're trying to cut your way through some bramble. And then eventually you're going to pass back by the cathedral, back by the bush, and I'll say you're at the very end of the prayer that you invoke. So what would normally be considered a well-traveled crew, I mean, truly, with where they've had rogue will workers, and they've had monobenders, and they've had other hidden dignitaries on the ship, all this stuff. They get another sight as the captain and the second mate take in the glowing bush. And then the glowing bush kind of flickers and winks out.
Listen to.
And this time Zuma looks at you. Are you seeing that?
Amanda bending, my friend.
Okay.
A weird type.
Randy, make 2 rolls for me. Make an insight check, and then if you make that, there'll be a second one.
For my insight?
Yeah.
My insight will be 23.
You definitely made that. Okay. So at that, you catch a look across the captain's face, and then roll a religion and see if you can. I'll give you the raw motion, but I want to see if you can refine it with the religion. If you make the roll, it'll make sense.
Religion, on the other hand, is going to be 14.
With the 23, that's high enough. Okay. You realized you'd seen the look twice, but you were in the middle of the discussion, and it was when the captain was emphasizing that you could purify purify food. And then with the light, the way that he's looking at his 2 mates, the first mate and the second mate, so Khalid and Zuma, he is clearly disturbed by this, because this isn't mana bending, and he's not a stupid man. He understands this has divine implications.
Migol Tuea is the one who made the tree light, and the one who purifies the water.
Ye gods, do you hear thoughts too?
No. But she speaks to me in her own way.
She,
the goddess Tuea.
I assume that's her temple?
Yes. Well, cathedral, really.
Okay.
Would you like to know more?
No.
Great. Let's move on.
Is it close enough in the end of the day that it would be better to stick here?
Like noonish.
No, you have enough time. You have enough time to get back because the island's not so big. Okay, and yeah, so he's been looking around and he says, "Look, maybe it's a little premature, but I'm not going to want to hear anymore. But I'm sure. You know what? Never mind." And he keeps walking.
Fair enough.
Captain,
Here when you're ready to talk.
get off the island.
No, you're right. I don't. I like my neck right where it's at.
Me too.
Well, that's good to know. So meanwhile, Nalishli, the cabin boy, who is also the cook's assistant, you haven't heard the cook say anything at all, and the cabin boy, who is scrawny, and about Grip's age, he's just been staring at you with eyes that are like saucers. And especially at Winter's Harvest, and then sometimes back to your face, and then a lot at Winter's Harvest. As it glistens, as it seems to draw in the sunlight into it. And he finally says, "Are you cold?"
Is he walking with us now?
Yeah. He's one of the 5 who are coming back.
And turn to face him. Why do you ask?
Your skin is cold.
My skin is cold? I'm gonna look at Marcus and Wesa. What does he mean?
It means that when you get real cold and maybe a little dead, you start turning blue and gray.
You're saying I look dead?
Damn. Ain't know you.
No, I'm not cold. I'm perfectly temperate.
Okay, he gives you like.
That was the best line of the night. Golly.
He has no more to say. Allie.
Just keep walking.
Yeah, you continue to go. Okay.
Shut him down.
The cook, again, without saying anything, just like lightly slaps the back of his head and kind of gives him an annoyed look. Well, she is. I'm like, shut up. And you get to, Borealis's camp. Again, Captain Captain Frey. You could basically you can assume that all the people, all the refugees from the Zephyr are taking everything in. The captain is also quite. He doesn't make a big deal out of it, but he's also numerate, so he doesn't know the secret of the word, but he can keep a ledger himself, and he's like racking up. He has a mind like an abacus, so he's racking up all of the abandoned equipment. It kind of gives you and Zoom another look, and like, this is a lot. Like, what a waste, basically.
Maybe we can take some of it back.
I don't think that's practical. Lord Domini.
Yes, Captain.
Are we gonna dismantle some of this for this? Well, actually,
Everything that we can. Don't worry, it's my cousins. You said we could have it.
Camp looks abandoned.
He's gone.
Fair enough. Grip, do you want to start stripping things here, or do you still want to get eyes on the southern shore?
I mean, I'm assuming at the very least there's some things that we'll know we'll need, like if the cloth from the tent can be salvaged or repurposed, we'll know we'll need that.
Yeah.
You'll need nails. You'll need
canvas for
So like we'll probably like take the equivalent of a short rest.
Okay, and you'll start stripping. You'll start stripping things off out of the camp. Okay.
Probably have to make more trips, but
Yeah, you will.
we can just
Okay.
get a head start.
Is there anything that's like eerie that I'm feeling there, or do we think it might be best to make camp here? Because we do have battlements, we do have gates, we have everything that we might need.
Ironically enough, you probably are most safe in the camp.
Yeah. Titus would suggest to be like, do we have enough sunlight to make it to the shore? At least to scope it out while we...
I mean, yeah, you do. Yeah.
Okay.
You for sure you do.
Should make camp here tonight.
Okay. So you take roughly a torch of assessing what's in the camp, what you're going to need. You do some preliminary scavenging and foraging, and then do you leave the Zephyr crew behind in the camp while the Fellowship goes, or does everybody stay together and goes to the South Shore?
I'd like to stay at the camp.
You want to stay at the camp?
Yeah, I'd like to look around.
Okay. You see Capio's tent.
You want to try to get your braids back?
Aww.
Okay. All right. Do y'all let Fellowship doesn't raise any objections to Wace's staying?
Yeah, keep an eye on them.
Fine.
Okay.
Staying in the camp?
In the camp.
And this is, sorry to clarify.
Borollus's.
This Borollus's
This is
camp?
Borollus's little camp.
Well, I'd stay with Waze.
Yeah. I was gonna. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll stay.
We should all probably stay together for the evening.
We're just going to scout the southern shore. Do you want to stay with them as well?
I'll go with. Well,
I can
where do you
go
want me
with
at?
It's okay to go. We'll be fine. There's plenty of us here.
All right, I'll go.
Oh, I hope they try something. Please try something. Please try something.
So, do you, Khalid, go with the Fellowship to the southern shore, or do you stay with your crew? The captain he knows your judgment.
I literally look at whatever. It depends on who gives me like nod, like come with or stay. I'm just
the captain shrugs because he trusts your judgment with people and with situations because you've proven that many times before. So it's basically whatever you think the play is here.
I can help with the rope. I'll go.
Okay, and he nods. All right, I'm assuming we're gonna be here at least a fortnight. It's gonna be longer than that, at least that long. I'll start organizing this fucking camp.
I won't take. You have a cook, so I'm pretty sure he's already going to the mess hall. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this isn't our the first time we've been in a situation like this. Never this bad, but yeah.
Angel, when we went back to the camp, have we passed by any of those bone piles that we faced when we first got here?
Most of them are gone.
They're gone. Okay.
Yep, they're just gone.
There's no really bones laying around at this point. Okay.
No. Part of you is a little, well, not you,
Yeah,
but part of the Fellowship is maybe a little bit surprised that as much of the physical camp is still there as it is, like it wasn't all just a dream. But fortunately, you have a fair amount of supplies here. All right, so
Yep.
The quartet goes out along with Khalid.
Avada's with us. Yep.
Do you want Avad to stay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. then Uriah will. Actually, he tells Uriah, stay here. Rest. Get your bearings. I was in this camp for years and years. Avad. And he shakes his head. Still, rest. Your mind, it will clear. I promise. So Uriah, still kind of looking a little bit, well, really disoriented, still just sits down kind of on a random log and just stares off into space. Okay, so Avad comes with you. You have not seen his type before. He has very dark hair and eyes and is really pale.
Romanian vampire. Waylon?
Kind of. What's that?
Was it Waylon?
Uriah.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was something about Waylon.
Before we go, I'll walk over to Uriah.
Okay.
I've got my little satchel.
He doesn't really acknowledge you. Just
drop it down in front of him. This is yours.
You thief.
I have questions. I'll give it back to you if you answer them.
Ask.
Later. Rest.
I'm not giving this back to you. He takes a satchel and drags it over to him.
Well, you'll answer my questions, or we'll see what happens.
And he holds on to it. Okay. We're off at the southern shore. You get back to the infamous tree line. The infamous tree line. And you finally get past the tree. Actually, you're still not past the tree line because you're still in the freaking Wesa are still in the camp. Okay.
She's never going to see the tree line.
She's never going to see the tree line again. Okay. Y'all break through, and it is Storm's mare is long gone. But you do see a bunch, the hulks of many, many wrecks. It's actually maybe a little bit better than you had thought it was going to be. There must have been so many over the years who came to this island and wrecked and didn't make it out. But fortunately, their ultimate loss stands to be your gain.
So I'm hoping to find whatever the most intact piece, even if it's farther out. I'm willing to wager that we might be able to, through force, just brute force, get it into place. It'll be rough going, but he's very strong, and I can do some stuff.
You can do some stuff. So the prize here that you're eyeballing is a largely intact mast. That will save you a fortnight of effort right there. It's further out though than you would like. But since you specifically named that, it's kind of on the side of a hulk that's listed down.
Do we still have a few torches of light?
Yeah, you probably have torches being hours. You probably have maybe still, even with all that, because it is summer, y'all. So maybe four torches of light. Maybe 5 if you were willing to push it.
How far is the mast from the shore?
Yeah, that's my question.
Sorry, my bad.
Maybe 100 feet. No, yeah.
And is reasonably submerged. Like it's partially underwater.
Yeah, how's the waves affecting it right now, or is it on something?
The mast has. So the mast itself is largely intact, but I keep wanting to say bedding, but the structure underneath it had been collapsed and ripped up. So it's kind of like it's almost touching the water, and the hulk itself is like maybe here, and then the mast is almost there.
So it's broken from the mizzen. Okay.
Thank you. That was the word I was looking for. Yes.
You see it? That's our best chance. I'm gonna go take a look.
You sure you're okay in the water?
He's just gonna look at you.
Why don't you bring some rope with you, and perhaps you can tie it, bring it back, and I can pull it ashore.
I have a question though, and it's not on account of your ability in or out of the water. It's what might be living in the water that did all this wreckage to begin with. That's what I'm worried about.
I think we're all worried about that, Marcus.
Right, but if he's in there, it might be difficult to get him out.
How do you have means? Extraordinary means to go.
I have means.
I am a strong swimmer, but just that. Do you want me to try to come with you?
No.
All right.
I don't doubt your strength. I'm stronger.
Can you put an arrow? Can you put an arrow from here to there with a rope attached to it?
I could throw a spear to it.
I can.
That might be a way of just being able to shimmy across without even touching the water.
No arrow is going to hold that mast, nor finish pulling it out, though.
No spear.
No.
Let me take a look. Let me see what we're working with.
Please be
Maybe we can pull it up. Maybe there's some other way.
Grip while you're there. I'm gonna take out the scimitar that I took off of Uriah, like in case if you need to chop down the rest of it, because all you have is a dagger with you, right?
I don't need that.
All right.
Be careful.
Avad for your friend.
Right.
You can, when he has his self back.
Okay. Thank you, Dominique.
Thank you, Avad.
Puts it behind him, slips it through his belt behind him. Okay. You get to the water's edge.
So I'm gonna swim normally, just for the time and
And
make my
I'm
way
gonna-
out there.
What is his preferred swimming stroke?
Doggy.
Oh, probably breaststroke.
Probably breaststroke. Okay. Feels very natural. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Very
gonna
reptilian.
I'm gonna ready a bow.
Okay. You string your long
Put some
bow.
arrows in front and just keep a direct eye on him.
Anybody else doing anything?
I don't have any weapons. I'm watching.
I have distance sniping and it's well within range, so I'm alright with that.
Do you have a spare bow for him?
Or who?
What do you think, Khalid?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
We're all
beak
this
ready on there. Just
We're all
in
this
case.
together, and I have a bad feeling about him. No, but maybe.
Okay. Meanwhile, back at the camp. So we sorry, I meant to acknowledge this at the beginning of the stream. Allie, you are a warrior. You have come here. I know you're still recovering, so we love that you're here with us, darling. If you need to
Perfectly temperate.
Yes. If you need to step out to take care of yourself, take care of yourself. Okay. It's been a lot. It's been a lot going on. Okay. Wait, so I feel like you're heading the party in the camp currently. So what are you investigating? Where are you going?
Just overall, like, really taking account what's here, what's not here, but she would be particularly fixated on KPO and Boralis's spaces.
Okay. I'm going to say you go to KPO's first because you know exactly where it's at.
Sure.
Lisa, where are you going?
Love it.
Millie, join me.
I'm
wanna
going
ki-
to that freak show's tent.
Aye.
Why? What are you looking for?
I don't know. Just come or don't. And she just starts walking.
Okay.
She runs after her.
Hello, freak show.
You open the flap
Cautiously.
cautiously. Okay. And yeah, okay. Now I'm trying. Now I'm trying to decide. As soon as you're opening the flap, because your passive perception is really high, you hear something that you don't like inside, something shifting in the gravel. And then there's a claw, a bony hand comes into the flap, where had you opened it at full speed, you would have just gotten it in the face.
Gotcha.
But it's now embedded in the flap.
Ha! She like opens it.
She's so over it. I love it.
And you see this skeletal form just kind of listing there, and like a cat where its nails are caught in fabric, you drag it out, and it's kind of scraping, and you see it kind of twitching, like it's just not sure what to do with itself after its last command.
Yeah. Moving on.
Okay, you step around the skeleton that's the magically animated skeleton that's twitching. Okay, great. We go inside, and Toby, remind me, you cut her hair, and we put it on one of your Skella girls. Okay, so.
Oh boy.
Ooh. So you see a bundled little Wesa who's lying down. You see your braids on top, and she's looking a little thin, but otherwise, and you're seeing the inside of KPO's space. He obviously left in a hurry because there's all kinds of stuff here. You see various unguents here. You see experiments, body parts preserved. Skulls in various stages of not decay, of experimentation, and one particularly gruesome creature that you don't remember when you were here, but there were so many trunks and crates and shelves that obviously that you didn't have time to look through. But this one, apparently somebody had been taken out, because you're not even sure if KPO ever made it back into the camp after you came back. That's a big question mark. But it looks like this couldn't happen in nature, where you have like half of the face that's been taken to the bone, and then the other half of the face, and it looks like he had started a mosaic on the face, and you can see different parts, different faces that have been stitched together, like it was beginning a jigsaw puzzle. To create a masterpiece.
I told you this was a strange man, Wesa.
It's true. And she goes towards her braids.
Okay.
She stuffs them in her bag. I'm just looking to see if there's anything here that I need to have. And
It smells awful.
Right.
Here with your nose.
Right. I know he had spices around.
He did.
Yeah, I would be looking
I
for
wanted to
those.
say it. I really wanted to say it.
Okay.
I did.
You search around. Give me a investigation check. It's a low DC, but
Crit.
okay. You kind of just
What's the spices?
She means it.
you kind of just go, and you had these were conventional spices, but these were from
And then
all,
also things that were found around the island.
all around the world, and then also the island. Okay. Okay, so you find the bulk of what you think was some kind of alchemical set
Fuck yeah.
that he had stashed in a false drawer that you take out. And there are many of the herbs, there are more conventional spices that you could use for cooking as well that were like expensive, but from like Sahar and from Arbella, and he was very well traveled, presumably from Leptis Regium as well. So you find both like a spice collection and then the bulk of an alchemical collection there.
Snagged.
Okay.
Snagged.
Is there any books around? Any journals?
Did Capio keep a journal? I don't think so.
He talked to his skull.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
To his victim. Okay, so there'd be a couple books, and they are written in a language you don't recognize.
Think of Katrin for a moment, but all right. And I would look if there's any bit of anything that Jason, because he was there
He was.
last, so I would just be looking to see if there's anything of his. But other than that, Lily, should we let this place stand?
Aye.
What do you mean?
We should burn this place to the ground.
Yes, that's exactly what I think.
Finish this
Sure,
sentence.
this place dead. Yeah. No.
Yes.
Save the material. I'm not there.
You're not there. You gonna light it on fire?
And by the way, do I sense anything arcane, magical, something that I can sense that's maybe
Valuable.
older.
Not anything that you want to interact with. I mean, you're staring at the mosaic and you know that the flesh should be decaying, but it's held. It's been it's been unnaturally preserved, and so you know that there's necromantic energy just imbued in that skin and in that skull. Your instincts, both of your instincts, is that he was making some attempt at creating a mockery of life over there.
I would just take his cooking set out in case we need
Sure.
that.
Sure.
And I'll take the books out. I won't burn the books, but like
Okay.
everything else, let's do this for
Burn it.
Jason.
Okay, so you have write down 2 unknown books. And then you put a torch to the place.
There are other tents.
It goes up pretty quickly because it was nice and oily
Covered
in there. Yeah. like the miniature den of iniquity that it was. And the what's left of the Zephyr crew, some of them note this flame in the middle of the camp, and they don't ask questions.
Waisa just kind of shouts into the fire a bit.
What does she shout? Just screams into the fire. Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Roar.
she's having a bit of a mental breakdown, but doing it in a way where it's not so obvious.
I mean, you were essentially held captive in the tent and had to bargain for you and Jason and everybody else's lives. So, yeah. Okay.
But she sends him a little bit of a curse. I hope wherever you are, KPO, you are suffering.
Love and deep respect.
I feel like you say that in High Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. The language of ritual. You find, and then you find, because I'm going to let you write off of that investigation roll, another place. And you know that Jason was there too, in more tangible ways. So, Grip, you're swimming.
Yeah, sure am.
We'll get back to that.
That's rough. So I am swimming as great as a normal, quote unquote, normal person could be, holding my breath as well as anyone possibly could.
Form is strong, all of that. Yeah, proficiency in athletics.
Michael
Right?
I do have
Yeah.
proficiency in athletics, so I'm a strong swimmer. Probably make my way out there, not too much.
And you have a high con too.
I sure do.
So, yeah.
I sure do.
So you're seeing this kid can hold his breath, like you're like a little bit concerned because he just disappears for long lengths of time, and you're like, okay, did you just get snagged? And then he'll resurface like pretty far out.
So yeah, I'm presume
You get there
if Her Marine Majesty were to make her presence known, we would probably be aware of it.
rather rapidly. Yeah.
I lean over to Marcus and be like, do dragons have gills? That's all.
So yeah, investigate the mast and the mizzen, which I definitely knew, and see how much of it is submerged or salvageable and intact, or if this thing could possibly be moved through arcane means or brute force.
Once you free it from the shattered situation going on, you can probably get it through the water, but you would need more than just your body. The mast is just too large and bulky.
Yeah. But I can at least assess it and what parts of it are like submerged in the earth and like need to be dislodged.
Make another shipwright roll. So you made a 15 on the first one.
14?
14? Okay. It occurs to you that you might be able to... You need to investigate this and be careful about it, because it's, like I said, it looks like it's about to snap. But if you could collect the mast, collect the canvas of the mast, you might be able to detach it and like basically transport that separately so that it doesn't get waterlogged, and then you're just dealing with floating wood. Because the big problem is having a waterlogged sail
It's a drag. Yeah.
and trying to deal with all of that through the water.
Cool. Would it be...
Or you may be able to just brute force the entire thing, over. And then you're still going to have to make the decision if you try to cobble pieces together or if you make a ship's cradle to build it, quote-unquote, properly.
Well, ideally we do this quickly, but also in a way that...
Gets you home.
Safely.
Gets you home where you're not a day out and then everything starts sinking. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be fine, but I guess these other people want to live too. Yeah, okay. So I will see what would be required of detaching the canvas and how many people it might require to...
Do you get on? Do you get out and then climb onto the ship? Okay, make an athletics roll for me.
12.
You're a bit awkward, as you haven't been swimming in a while, and you're trying to transition from the water at this really weird angle. You're almost like rock climbing for a second, because of the severe list of the hulk. But you finally manage to swing and kick a leg up, and then kind of scramble on this madly cantered deck.
And I see the parts where it could be loosed.
Attached. Yeah.
But then the question is how to get it to shore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you're pretty sure that given like half a day you could loose it.
Yeah.
But then maybe less. But then the transport's the big issue. Breaking the mast off is not going to be a problem. You see where the weak points are. You might even be able just to do that yourself. Certainly Titus will be able to do it. And then like I said, then it's a matter of just floating wood across to the closer to the beach.
I mean, I wonder if you could just float the canvas as well. It would be wet, but it would dry out eventually. We're going to be here long enough for it to dry now.
Potentially, yeah.
Caught on rocks, though.
You feel that you're risking damage, though.
Which we don't want.
If it's floating through, yeah. Because remember, I haven't done a good job of describing this, but like there's debris everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, there's just shit floating around everywhere. So
that's true.
So yeah, that can get caught. That can get caught and snagged and punctured, basically anywhere.
Okay. So I'll make note of all of the relevant information.
Okay.
Including underneath the sea, if there's any parts, like if by moving Earth it could be dislodged. Bodies.
You see crewmen who are never going to return home, with crabs playing around them and some sort of sea creature poking out of what used to be an eye. I'm just kind of bobbing about half a dozen of them down there, standing watch.
Cute. Okay. Having learned everything I believe I can, I will make my way back to shore.
Have you screamed back to them at all while this is going on, or this is all just a silent assessment?
No, I was just assessing. I wasn't planning on screaming.
Okay. You see him dive under. And
I'm looking and observing, just in general.
Okay. You're not a shipwright per se, but at a higher DC, Corey, make me just like an investigation roll.
One of the things I'm thinking is that we could bundle all of it together, like package it up, like
have some sort of raft
on top of the mast itself, and therefore it's all packaged. Therefore, it's not dragging.
You haven't had the point blank eyes on yet,
No,
though.
we haven't had
Of seeing it. Yeah, but that's potentially.
What is it? You want to roll for?
It's an investigation.
That would be 18.
Okay, so you're trying to assess. Like I said, you've never built a ship before, but you have been around ships basically almost your entire life. So you're kind of looking at the state, and you got lucky with this mast. So like you've got to preserve that canvas because the woodworking you can do here like that. You're sure between what you saw at the camp and having an intact canvas that way is going to be a bitch to try to like stitch together out of lesser parts in a way that's seaworthy.
That piece right there.
This guy?
Yeah.
That's a basically a chunk of ship with some goods that had washed up on the shore.
Like a raft.
Potentially, yeah.
Canvas on that.
Yeah, you indeed might be able to do that.
All right,
It's a tad too.
Okay, so you're swimming and you kick and you don't go anywhere. And then you kick some more, and you don't go anywhere, and your arms try to pull you through. And make a perception roll.
Can I look to see if there's a riptide?
8.
Okay.
There's 2 tunneling in to see if he's swimming in that stream.
You not yet because you don't know anything's wrong.
Okay.
Because remember, he had been
Well,
under.
if I were to see a riptide,
He had been under. You don't know to look for that yet, though.
But I would feel that my momentum is stalled, at least if I don't see the source of it.
And your passive perception is not high enough to catch it yet. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, no, you're stalled.
I'll surface.
Okay. You start to go to the surface, and you can't, as you try to reorient yourself, your limbs kick, and the water is just not giving you any leverage at all.
Bubbles there.
Bubbles.
My form shifts. My feet kind of sprout a little bit of webbing. Some gills kind of open up on the sides. Some claws extend out from my hands.
Aquaman.
Some slight fins erupt.
What does that feel like for you?
Good.
something's fishy.
Good, mark that off.
So sorry.
For those of you interested, this is a variation of Alter Self.
Yeah.
So now that I am in the water, I am able to breathe. I'm able to assess more clearly what's happening.
As soon as the panic, so the incipient panic of being trapped underwater isn't there, although it doesn't sound like your character is ever panicking. Make another perception roll at a lower DC.
It's a 16 total.
Somebody's fucking with you. The water redirects. As soon as you push and kick, the water redirects.
Your Majesty.
So then I will look for any sort of weakness in the current. Is it like uniform completely around me, or are there parts where it seems to get stronger or weaker?
You start probing then? Okay.
With the intention of using my shape water to make myself a way out of it.
You're currently concentrating. Remind me, how much water can you move at a time?
We never settled.
What does it say?
What that exactly says.
What's the default?
This one is you choose an area of water that you can see within range that fits within a 5-foot cube.
That's what I thought. Okay, so 5-foot cube.
Yeah.
Okay. You start to do that. Make an Arcana check.
That's a 23.
Nice.
Okay. You encounter someone else's mana bending, and you can feel the webs there. You can test it, and as you tear through. So you do manage to tear through. How are you conceiving of this on a metaphysic level, on a mana bending level?
It's essentially a larger claw, like a more massive version of my claw that is just kind of piercing through it.
Okay. And you see, as soon as you cut the lines of mana that are flowing there, the water stops its swirling, reverts back to form, and a giant claw comes around your body and grasps you. Make a athletics check for me.
Dragon?
The dragon.
You get your meeting?
13.
Okay, you are now grappled. And the claw squeezes down on you, and you can feel your bones creak. Ow. And a huge snout comes up as you're pulled in, and the snout extends, and so it's like a friend whispering intimately into your ear, except it's large enough that it could, it's the size, the head and torso are the size of a Volkswagen, and it could just engulf you. And there are no bubbles, and you feel a foreign presence enter your mind. Why are you here, shrimp? Are you thinking this? Okay. Answer me.
I mean to leave.
I am glorious Jade, and you know that the humans would hear Tekpotl, but it means glorious Jade.
Oh,
Glorious.
interesting.
That's awesome.
And I am glorious Jade, and you are bespoiling my territory.
It's you. The one they spoke of.
Some bubbles are coming up.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
stop struggling.
Now we're kind of at the ready if we kind of stop.
Now that I realize the form that I'm in, the presence that is surrounding me, I'm not going to struggle.
Now it's been long enough. Make a perception check.
Yay.
I'm gonna be watching with him. I'll go look. I'll scan around the area.
I'll let you roll as well, Randy.
I was doing it to Thor.
Okay, you've lost him. Because you assumed he would be should be much closer by now.
Sure as water.
Maybe he does have good.
So I got a 10.
Okay, you're not sure. Were you looking also?
Yeah, I told you earlier I was observing.
Yeah. Go ahead. That's fair.
Still pretty. I mean, I have that'd be 14.
14. Okay. The two chosen that
What is that? The perception?
perception. 14. Okay. So the two chosen beside you, you see where their eyes are looking, and you kind of pass it further on, and you're like, did he not even make it off the damn boat?
Yeah.
And you're looking around there, and then you see all of these bubbles coming up, like basically 5-10 feet off the boat.
Domine, look, the bubbles. Something's wrong.
He might be searching the boat.
Sorry, say it again.
He might be searching the boat.
Maybe feel like that.
I mean, how long? How many flickers are?
He should be coming up like now, maybe at the halfway point or something.
And it's not moving. It's just the same bubbles in the same spot.
I have to go by my perception, and I'm going to say he's probably searching the boat. There's nothing out of normal for those bubbles.
I have a
prior to-
14 passive perception. Would that have actually allowed me to see them once you pointed it out easily?
Once he pointed it out, you can see the bubbles. Yeah.
I can't swim. I know what to do here.
I can't swim out and get him on time.
Let's put all trust into him.
Avad sighs worriedly, and he starts pacing on the shore.
I'm kind of looking for an angle to see if there's anything that maybe
Shit, I
a
can't say
tide or
anything.
anything comes up, just to kind of draw. And if worst comes to worst, he's going to shoot an arrow at just a gigantic piece of wood that's somewhere out there.
Where's some rope? I mean, I have some rope.
Okay, yeah, you have rope.
If someone goes out there, we'll tie
Is
them.
that 100 feet of rope?
I have no idea how much feet we have.
All right. So
Yeah, so now that I've realized that it's the dragon and not whatever the sea creature is, I'll stop struggling.
that you're in the presence of a different sort of royalty.
Just so. I'll switch to Draconic,
Okay.
and
Still in your mind.
did that seem to work?
It did. Yeah.
Okay.
It's quote unquote listening.
Gotcha. My apologies, Venerable Elder. I mistook you for the cretin that stalks your territory. I did not realize I was in the presence of your magnificence.
Indeed, and he shakes you around some.
I like you when you say that thing. The nice things about me. That's hilarious.
I had intended to get these fleas away from your nest as rapidly as possible.
And I had intended to eat them. Particularly the flame top. He has resisted me.
He is quite irritating. Yes. He has an unearned sense of pride.
Why are you cavorting with the hairless apes, thin blood?
I was seeking you.
Lies!
They said They said they had been blessed by your magnanimity, that you had graciously and generously blessed them with your presence and allowed them to survive.
So two things happen at once. Make an insight check, and then I'll tell you what the results are of that combat round.
That's 15.
Pretty damn good for your character.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the draconic blood. So as the thought, your character is speaking sincerely. Mm-hmm. You feel like for a dragon, you are in the presence of a very young creature. And young being a mere few centuries or whatever. Who knows?
Yeah.
And then at the same time, there is a fury that goes through its massive form. And in that fury, it has a paroxysm of rage. It squeezes down involuntarily, and it does 11 points of bashing to you.
Ouch.
Uncontrolled.
Do we notice that level of disturbance under the water?
Now you see something thrashing.
Drop it! Entirely just ready for anything you see.
Okay.
If it's not grip.
And this huge gout of water erupts as Tecpotl takes to the skies with a beat of his mighty wings, and you see writhing in his grasp is what does grip look like currently to them?
And as we see that too, I'm gonna grab everyone around me and be like, "To the trees, to the trees."
Yeah. If I have the presence of mind, which is, I guess, up to the die, I would want to shout at them not to shoot.
Okay. You do have a ready to action.
Oh no, I would have protected Marcus, grabbed everyone.
Okay, so you're
I've learned a lesson.
Okay, so you're
a pretty mature guy when it comes to dragons.
Okay, so you're abandoning the ready to action and you're going to grab him. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to try to protect anyone who's with us. Get to the tree line.
Yeah, I would just don't shout.
So they're seeing you in altered form.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how clear it would be at that
distance. No, and I guess the ultra, as I'm like running them
it's
through,
not super different.
Like webby
it's
hands.
like claws.
He's still
his feet are a little fused. Like the scales are a little more prominent.
So Avad's probably the only one who gasps then, and then he kind of snaps himself out, and
trees. Yeah.
He turns and you see he's Avad's like oddly reluctant to leave the beach, but at your urging he follows you. Okay.
Can we see that?
You see the inside of the largest tent.
It also has a dragon.
So you see, you see Barolus's tent off to one side, and it's connected to this larger tent. And you can see kind of some of the house colors, a little trim of purple, a little bit of gold, etc., that are on his tent. Finer cloth, but in the main tent, it looks like there was some. This is more like a Mongolian yurt. Is what I'm thinking of, like a huge yurt.
Okay, that's cool. I like that.
But so you have cushions thrown around. You have a large central fire pit. You have what might have been some sort of throne that he had erected over the years and decades, where they had collected pieces of trees and driftwood and then cobbled them together in a trying to think of the word, but in a mockery essentially of a royal seat for him, which also has different garlands on it and whatnot. So a couple things, because like I said, and that's a total of what for you on 23 total? Okay, it's pretty high. You immediately, and you can smell too, you can smell the faint scent of burnt flesh lingering in the air. You see they're now cool, of course, but you see brands with a simplified version of the Houseworn sigil on them. You also see blood on the ground. There are what look like giant iron staples that are stapled into the ground. And as you walk up there, your stomach kind of drops because you can see on the earth was just faint enough that you can detect the palimpsest of Jason, the outline of his body being stapled to the ground there and tortured and abused.
Terrible.
And you do see a few more strands of blue hair
Okay.
that are near where his face would have been as it got twisted into the dirt.
Alicia, can you pick up that hair?
Aye.
She would like really quickly divert her gaze from that spot. And so what? This is like the king's chamber of hell.
It's their AKA their common room. Yeah. At one point, because you you remember the area that Avad was going to be crucified at and whipped. A lot of that equipment at some point they just stopped bothering going all the way over there, and they took it over here inside of this large tent.
She'd be looking around for anything of value. And as she's walking around, she's kind of like cursing the whole thing in her head. I mean, she's really taken by the whole thing. And I would encourage Nelisha to also just look around, poke around before we burn it.
Okay. Both of y'all make investigation checks then.
Another.
It's another crit?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it.
She's determined, doesn't
Okay.
learn.
I'm 11.
11. Okay. Now, Leslie, if there's any common weapon that you want, or some cloth or a pouch or something, like all of that stuff, they just abandon here, so you can find that. I don't know if there is though with your gear.
I don't want to touch any of their stuff.
Yeah. Okay. For you go around and then you kind of poke around, and you see behind the throne, it looks like there is, you don't know the story behind it, but this is the investigation of false bottoms. So you kind of are knocking around, and you feel that it's hollow. You muck about with the paneling of it, and there's a panel that slides away at the base of this cobbled together throne. Inside, you see resting on some cloth is a small, it's not like a full crown, it's more like a circlet. Maybe surprisingly delicate, but it looks like it's made out of silver, and it has some sort of gems sprinkled along in it.
Do I get a sense of its purpose, its energy, if it has any mana around it?
You don't feel mana, but you feel a sense of history around it. And it looks almost feminine. Like you can't imagine that it wouldn't have fit Barolus's thick head.
Do I get the sense that a woman was here? Are there any other things that point to a woman?
No.
Okay. Interesting. Sure, she'll take it.
Okay. You take it out, and you see, with quite a bit of grace etched all along it, are kind of a series, different, each of them different. They're not quite repeating, but variations of a falcon in flight.
Cool.
And then there are several at basically the cardinal directions. There are 4 small but exquisitely cut sapphires.
Pretty. Puts in her bag.
Okay.
No mine.
And then, I mean, this isn't Bareilles' tent. This is
a common tent, and then you can, I'll let you right off of that when you go into Bareilles' tent. If you go into Bareilles' tent.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're finished with the main tent. You roll on into Bareilles' tent. It's more richly appointed. There's, I know that'd be gone by now. Although with your nose at a 20.
23.
So there's like the barest hint of what might have been some sort of low grade spice, like as in drugs, that they were trying to manufacture here in desperation. But instead of the sweet smell of Thodolix, there's like an acrid tinge to it. It's like when people get desperate. This is kind of a little
Smoking oregano.
little silly. Right. Yeah.
It's not Arrakis.
Yeah. Basically, where you're desperate enough for your fix that you're putting in some pretty subpar things.
Oh yeah.
And so
Bible paper.
you have no doubt that on top of everything else, he was also addicted to various substances, and kind of had a hard detox here at some point. But you go about, and there may be a few sesterci from bygone generations that are in here, some coin in here, that are strewn carelessly across the bed. And honestly, it smells like the meeting of depression, like the crossroads of depression, sex, and misery are in this room. It's a sad chamber.
Shin sock.
Okay, no goodies really. I mean, just some gold.
Some coins, and then I guess if you wanted to take some threadbare, ragged silk sheets, you could.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ashley, I must say, if there's ever been a time that I've wanted to just be done, it's now.
I understand. But you have many days ahead of you, and they do not. We shall race this to the ground and be done with it.
Tis Cutley would greet me well, though.
She would. In many, many years from now.
She kicks some shit and let's set it aflame.
And it burns.
I'm just gonna say after that, and we see this smoke coming from the camp. We're hightailing it to the camp. I'm assuming, guys.
Oh, I don't know if we'd be able to see it in the canopy of trees. We're inside right now.
You are fixated on the beach right now.
All right.
We really don't hear any dragon activity during any of that.
You hear, don't shoot!
Well, this was
help me!
This was all happening. I mean, that's
Pretty far.
That's too far. Yeah, that's too far away to hear. If you're outside, we'll see how the timing is. If you're outside when he comes up, when Tekpotl comes straight up, that's different.
Okay,
but as we wend our way to intermission, I want to already. It's quick, guys. I want to thank y'all again for your love and support. Let me just check real quick and make sure we haven't had anybody. Nope. Okay. So we will catch you on the back end of this, and we'll see you in about 15. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Grip.
Grip, are you gonna get crushed by a little?
If you wanted to
Get crushed by your track.
Eldritch Foundry is evolving. Bringing you a virtual army of miniatures like never before in full tabletop-ready color. Paint your miniatures in our upgraded creation tool, then bring them to life in stunning one-to-one detail as 3D printed miniature masterpieces. With complete control over your digital color scheme, you can point and click for simple color fills or go all in on highlights, shading, brush techniques, and more. Create epic heroes and madness-touched monsters that are truly yours. Miniatures are 3D printed in perfect color detail using a new PolyJet 3D printing process, giving you unique, bespoke models ready to delve into any dungeon as part of your next campaign. Everything from one-off player characters to dungeon mobs and boss-level monsters that will make every player in your group jealous. But that's not all. You can take things fully digital and export into leading VTT platforms such as Tailspire and Roll20 to take your games and your custom miniatures wherever you want. Join the adventure of a lifetime. Back our campaign today to help us bring this stunning revolution in custom miniature design to reality. With Eldritch Foundry, full-color 3D design and printing.
Greetings, weary travelers, and welcome to Constructed Chaos, a channel dedicated to all things D&D, including live play streams and podcasts, 3D printing, painting, crafting, homebrew content, and guides for players and dungeon masters alike. Join our Discord for even more special benefits, announcements, and free downloadable content. And until next time, go out there and make some chaos.
We lift our voice to greet the rising sun. Your splendorous touch burns away the dark. With a soft golden hue, your world is made anew. We follow the path you've laid.
And we have returned. Thank you so much for being with us once again. Unfortunately, Allie was not feeling well enough to continue, but she was a warrior for driving out here tonight and being with us. I really appreciate that. It's hard. It's hard. It's real life. It happens.
Perfectly temperate.
It happens. Perfectly temperate life.
She dropped what she needed to drop.
That was the best
she did.
I've ever heard. I am perfectly temperate.
And it was at her lowest point, man. That was that was an expression roll at disadvantage.
That
okay.
was so great.
So here we are, and we have a ruby rod showing up, which is wonderful. And I think it's I think this is a hug emoticon that it's describing pair character stretching his arm forward, raising his thumb up. So I don't know. We're gonna go with the hug, and then the other super chat is just a red heart. So thank you very much. We appreciate that because it comes through as text instead of graphics. And with that, we resume. Yes.
The candle.
Sorry.
I don't have a lighter fire. You can light the camp on fire, but the candle.
Right. No. It's just the camp. It's just the camp.
Sorry, I had to hear that.
I don't think so. Okay. So we have.
Somebody flying.
Yes, we have a little flyers. There's something else, but now I'm distracted. Concentration check.
Right.
Because you got a little squeeze.
I did get a little squeeze.
You got a hug.
I did get
you got a hug from your big brother, your big cousin.
That's what it must have been. A thumbs up grabbing and carrying him.
What did you get?
19 total.
Okay,
Yay.
so you're not. Yeah, it's not even marginal. As you're coming, in fact, I'm going to say you have a rush of clarity. So what are you feeling as you've taken this 11 bashing? You're being propelled impossibly high by glorious jade / it can also be translated as heavenly jade, and with impossible speed because he's got at least 80 feet around that he can go, 160 if he's choosing to dash. You are rapidly ascending.
Yes, we are.
And the whole world, of course, there are no airplanes in this world. There are no, shots. There are no aerial views. Nothing. So this is an uncanny viewpoint.
Entirely possible that this is the last flickers of his life. But the thing that he's really sitting with right now is this is something that he has always wanted. This exact thing that is happening wasn't really a lot to do in his humble abode.
Not so much.
And when there were dreams that were not disturbed, it's soaring through the trees or above the trees, or just that viewpoint that is above everything, that position that is yours by virtue of who you are that no one else can take.
Oh.
And he's like a little excited. Like, honestly,
Drown rush.
if this is
Even as he may die. Yes.
If this is the end of it, then it's like,
still pretty cool for a little bit.
I know what this is like now.
I'll die happy. His bucket
So
list.
I think part of it he might actually just like,
Okay.
not in a way that is fearful for his life, but is a rush of exhilaration and finally realizing a part of himself that he did not know would ever happen.
Do you know Equetel's law?
No.
So you're up, and then the roller coaster stops, and there's that perfect moment of zero gravity, where all forces are exquisitely balanced, and then as you see, even though it's so much smaller than the Green Doom, which of course these characters aren't aware of exactly, there's nothing in creation really that could stop this thing as it's diving, and you may be looking at the last flickers of Grip's life, and you hear this unearthly child who probably shouldn't have existed screaming his head off, not in fear, but in ecstasy, in elated joy.
I'm watching this whole scene play out. I don't know what they've talked about upstairs. I do hear I can tell the difference. Yeah. I can tell the difference between a fearful scream and an exhilarating.
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
I actually am watching the dragon himself to see if I can suss out if there's more curiosity as opposed to murderous intent with perhaps animal handling.
No. No, Randy.
That was a great try.
For those faraway friends that don't know, it's become a bit of a meme at the table. But Marcus and his damn animal handling, way more prevalent. Yes.
And
so
inside, I'm going to use my clear mind.
How long does it take you to cast? It's 1 round.
It's a cantrip bonus action.
It's one round. Okay. I don't think it's a bonus. I think it's an action.
No, you're actually right.
Okay. I'm going to say that you have enough. I'm going to say that you have enough time. Ruby Rod, thank you very much for the $10 super chat.
Come in.
We have pair character jumping up and down saying #1 fan. So that's very sweet.
Winner of the Gemini Croquet Contest.
Rick might actually have to take you to task. I don't know.
So,
Chaos.
as you're about to be smashed, I don't know if you ever played BattleTech or not, but there's a kamikaze attack called Death from Above, where one giant mech jumps on top of the other. And so this thing is just about to paste you, confident that it can survive. And in an almost delicate whisper in your mind, its vast experience, even as young as it is compared to yours, so many orders of magnitude greater. Green does not kill green. And it drops you. And then, in a way that only fantasy physics would allow for, it skims the beach, kicking up sand and kind of showboating, honestly, because it is a teenager, and then smashing through all of these trees and just busting them ahead of it before it takes to the skies again.
Do I hear that?
As you're watching the pyre of Jason's misery and Burles's failure go up in front of you, you see Tecpotl take to the skies, soaring straight up. From this distance, you can't make out the writhing figure in his grip. And then you see him disappear back down underneath. So you saw the great up and then the roller coaster down.
And then not the trees.
Not the trees, no, because those are still too far away.
Thanks for the wood.
And you're on the beach now.
I'm back where we started?
Almost.
Yeah, I'm sprinting over to him.
I'm just sitting. I'm just sitting there like.
Okay, you sprint out to him.
As we get closer and kind of see the impact.
Go ahead and make your roll now.
Then he's going to be like,
Great.
I stay where I'm at.
I got a 23.
Frustration, resignation, but also making a damn point. You think it would be an exceedingly poor idea to further investigate the village at this point.
Understood. All right, I'm running out.
Because, while it may not be willing to kill him,
all the rest of us have no such protection.
What's it did anyways?
Yeah.
Well, you do, but he still hasn't figured that out. So, because he's been failing his Arcana checks whenever he encounters that. So, there you go.
Run up to him along with
Grip. How was it to fly? Titus is almost also very excited. I'm like, what?
Like nothing you can imagine.
Are you all right?
He's just gonna lean back, just trying to like let that sensation sink into his bones.
Absolutely.
So normally this would be the point where I ask if you want to heal, but you look like you're reveling in this pretty much. You want to just heal normally so you can experience this as much as you can.
I'll be fine.
Good.
With advantage, make a persuasion check and see what kind of imprint you made on your relation.
And due to my class, any charisma check that is relating to or associated with dragons is done at advantage.
Oh no, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
So super.
So this is just.
It's not super.
So this is persuasion.
You know what? I am going to give you deep advantage on this. Yeah. So roll 3 times.
Persuasion 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
Yowza.
Because you earned that.
That's 21 to start.
Let's go up from there.
Worse.
Come on.
19. So 21.
21. Okay.
Still pretty great.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You probably are going to catch that. Make another insight check, Tobias.
Okay. No.
Okay, it doesn't matter. It's gone. Yeah, you're just in your body right now, feeling something. You feel alive for the first time in your life. There's only one other time that the emotion has been more powerful than that, and you know when that was. But that was so horrifically the other direction.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe it's a few flickers, maybe it's a torch. I'm not really sure, but eventually he'll just sit up.
Some sand that's been scored by the beast's claws, and the drag of his wings rolls off your back.
Is anybody around me still?
Yeah.
Now you see the smoke coming up from a single. You see one small strand and then one larger.
Yeah. Maybe we should get back to the camp. Grip, can you walk?
I can walk. Did he fly away?
He's gone.
And then I'll, in halting speech, debrief on the mast and canvas as best I can.
Okay, as you try to turn your intellect to rather more quotidian matters. Okay. They make their what's that?
They're beaten feet. So.
You hustle back to the camp. Avad's looking at you with something akin to religious awe, and he just stays away from you, but still keeps watching you. Excuse me. Yeah, still keeps watching you.
I'm gonna lean in back.
Are you still in your form of whatever?
No, that would.
Yeah, you would have dropped. Yeah,
that would have faded for sure.
I'd be like, you didn't say the last word, did you?
No. He wants to eat you.
I know.
We might have a way. There might be a way. Do you think you'd be willing to swallow your pride?
Be eaten.
No. He's never gonna leave. But if we could offer him something.
I got a
The
pretty.
apology of the Lord. The gift of the witch who would cleanse his nest. There might be a way. There might be a way.
I got a pretty clear read on him while he was flying around, and
You read a dragon, Avad says.
No, he flew with one. He carried him. He didn't ride him.
oh yes. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the sentient, they have thoughts and feelings. He has pride, obviously, much of it. So he has.
No shit.
It's not much different than a human, really, just on a larger scale. I apologize.
Oh, of course.
Anyway,
Scale is a good word.
if we go there, it will not be an easy conversation at all. He does not want us there. He gave you away for whatever reason. But that was the last time.
Well, you were able to read him. Why do you think he spared me?
Can I make an insight roll to that? I mean, I heard your explanation for it, and
You can try. Yeah, you can try as he kind of.
Does
I'm
he
gonna clear
live
my
alive?
take my time, just really breathe in, breathe out. That are my small incantations.
Okay. Okay. Yep. There's a small bit of gold flows around his head.
27.
Jesus.
Is that a crit?
No, it was a 19. But with I get expertise.
No,
with it.
no, no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's awesome.
You reassess. So this is an alien intellect, and to anthropomorphize it into a human would be a deadly mistake. It is not like a person. However, it absolutely has draconic pride, which is not so very different in that one regard from a particularly prickly patrician. Except it has a lineage that stretches back just unimaginably far, farther even than the Empire. And it's painfully aware of that. The other thing is that you recognize in it was it recognized him as some kind of kin. And that you do understand quite well.
He let you go because you are one of his in some fashion or another, and he recognized that. That is why he let you go. He would not have afforded the same luxury to anyone else here except you.
No, he would not. That's pretty good. How did you know that?
My gifts from Tuea.
Equetel's Law.
What is that? Equetel's Law.
And he's gonna take him out and like is almost like a little choked up. As brutal as this was, as dangerous as the situation was, this is the first time since he's been out here really that he's like been recognized, like to be really, really seen. Outside of Tess, which is a totally different flavor.
Yeah.
But this like to have that sense of belonging, even in a peripheral sense, is like green does not kill green.
I'll take your word for it.
That's fascinating.
You can't imagine what it's like. You've always had a place. You were always wanted. He saw me. Truly. I didn't even know what that was like. And just keep walking.
You're getting closer to the camp. Make a history check.
Yeah. Oh, that's a natural one.
Okay. You're still too excited.
Yeah.
You're going to have to sit down and try to recollect all of the lessons about the Green Doom.
Yeah, I'm kind of riding off of kind of imagined conversations between myself and you.
Angel, is there anything other than this is a brand new experience for me around green dragons? Ever heard of them? Is this like, am I shocked? I'm trying to figure out where I'm mentally going to be placed here. Based on the background.
Because of your background, it's possible that you had at least heard about them. So make a history check yourself.
History check.
Depending on how good it is, actually, maybe in some detail.
We'll see.
Because you are a 2 Rivers.
It's going to be a plus 1, 14. At
some point you sought out, when you were growing up, you sought out this as part of the unknown aspect of your culture.
Right.
I'll keep it vague but you know what I'm talking about. So you've heard about, you wouldn't call them green dragons, you would just call them dragons, because much like Wesa, in your mind, a dragon is green.
Yeah, so this is essentially just confirming they still exist at this point.
Yeah, which is a little shocking because, like, one has not been seen around Leptis Regium or Leptis Secunda or anything like that for definitely not in living memory.
Okay.
And probably further.
Such an interesting way of saying that.
All right, thank you.
Yep. And with the 14, the last thing I'll say is you would know that it's just kind of assumed that they're amphibian. So it does not shock you that it came out of the water. No.
Creatures of land and water.
Mm-hmm. Equally creatures of land and water.
Yeah, all of this is your fault. All of this came from that.
I heard that was her. She hasn't really mentioned that in character yet. That was kind of in her head.
So you have the second mate, Zuma, who is Yerlit, finding you as the large tent is well on its way to hell.
Mm-hmm.
He comes up and he's stripped to the waist. Looks like he's been basically strip mining the resources inside of the camp right now, and you see they've started to collect some of the metal pieces that they need in a common open space a good deal away. Right then. So, you have the air of a priestess.
And?
And he's eyeballing, he's staying a fair distance from you because Nalishli's still with you and she's kind of staring at him. I've never known a priestess to do things without good reason. You knew this camp?
Aye.
Is there anything we should know about this camp? Any dangers? Anybody coming back for this camp?
No, we killed them all.
Oh. Okay, well, I'll be over there, and if you need anything, I'll just go ahead and, finish. Thanks.
Listen. I know you don't know us well. But this was a place of disgust, of torture. If you look around and you feel enough, you'll see it.
I don't have the sight, priestess.
Well, just keep remembering what you just told me. Priestesses do things for good reason.
Aye. This is all in Valkyrie, of course. Aye.
Do you pray?
He looks over shoulder. Yeah. Quietly. Obviously, I'm the only person who follows the three.
Who's your favorite?
I'm a seaman. Talik, of course.
Me too.
Really?
Really?
Huh. I just, then he again looks at Nalishli with trepidation. I just kind of assumed, does she speak? And Nalishli says, yes, she does, in Valkyrie. I just thought that you were from Dread Mother. Or she,
Nalishli is.
Literally from Dread Mother.
Hi.
Okay. You're her guide? Master?
She points at...
Nalishli actually starts laughing a little bit at that. And he says, you know what? I should shut up.
Nalishli doesn't need a master. She's a construct. Tezcatli's delegate here. In Terra.
I don't know this word. I'm sorry. Construct. Ruby Rod.
You just want me to keep saying it, don't you?
He does another $5. This is me exploring super chats. That's so cute. Aww.
Bless you. That's so sweet.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
She's born straight from Tezcatli herself. I was there when she was rose out of the Terra. I've seen many things and traveled many places.
I have.
Okay.
I have not walked with the work of the gods at my side before, my lady.
I guess it's your time then.
I don't want it to be my time.
Oh well, and she smiles.
One does not lightly walk aside the Dread Mother.
You learn how to let her stand at your edges. It actually makes you braver.
With respect, you may learn that. I'm a much simpler man. I would merely like when my end comes, I want it to be with Talik's grace. A burial at sea. I have no regrets. I'm a long way from home. So are you, but you still carry Teowani inside of you. I see it in the way that you move, in the way that you speak, in the way that you act. And he ticks his chin to the pyre going on.
Don't make too many assumptions of me, and I won't make too many assumptions of you.
It's a touchy subject, but since you're deigning to speak with me, you're Two Rivers, no?
Aye.
There's a story there.
There is.
But you were trained as a priestess. I know that.
I was.
You still are.
Hmm.
That's rare. You know that our people tried to exterminate the Kuand.
She just feels a little bit of a inner struggle. She's like, and?
No and. Merely an observation. Or, he shrugs, a recitation of fact. I make a persuasion check and see if that talent of yours, of people just telling you things they know they shouldn't, pops in.
18.
My mother always said my mouth was going to be the death of me. Before I went for a life of trade, I hunted them down. I helped spill a lot of Kuand blood. Some of it in the field, some of it on Teowani's altars. I was good at it.
Does Weisa know that they were doing that during her lifetime?
Probably not. Are you going to try to hide your surprise?
Yeah.
Make a deception check.
24.
Oh. Damn, he rolled really well, too. Okay. Okay. That would have been so cool. All right, but you absorb the shock and dissipate it behind your mask.
Remind me again what you were doing with the Kuand. Why you did that.
Forgive me, I thought it was common knowledge. They were declared unclean.
Right, it's just so long ago. I left home so long ago.
Perhaps I've misjudged your age. And he gives you like a deep formal bow. Please excuse me. I should go. And he does not hide the rising terror inside of him as he's gone entirely too far. Because that is the polite way in High Valkyrie of telling you. You've lived long enough in Germentum, and more importantly, you've embraced the ethos of the dream, that you realize you may not be. You're more loose in your talk than you would have been at one time. For a priestess to say something, for sure, for a priestess to say something like that would mean you're about to have him executed. That you're at the limits.
How Tatiana will play through that.
That you're at the limits. Basically, that you're at the limits of your patience, and he's bumping up against blasphemy, and he realized he had overstepped himself. That was not your intent, though, as current Weisa advisor to House Foreign. So
She doesn't mind being a little intimidating. She would say to Nilishli,
Weisa.
I didn't know. I didn't know they were sacrificing, cleansing Kuand.
The Urlid are killing Kuand now, and not just at the time of the Green Doom.
Yes, I didn't know. And I don't understand. I don't know anything about my father, but he's Kuand. I don't understand. Did he flee? Was he safe there? Was I safe there? Of course I wasn't, but...
But you were raised by your mother, yes?
Yes.
And she was a priestess, as you are, yes?
Yes.
It makes no sense.
I'm a bit horrified.
Let me see if she remembers. Yeah. So Nilishli considers for a second. And actually, for once, kind of looks over where the men are at, drops her voice just a little bit as she is continuing to grow in this world, and says, a high priestess. Yes?
My mother?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
I think you had a reason for being made just as much as I did.
Mm.
And you have a twin.
I do.
Do you think your mother's sight was strong enough to know that she would have twins?
I.
Hmm. We should find him.
I don't want to be disappointed. But yes, I would like that very much.
Why would you be disappointed?
I can't lose another bit of my hope right now.
I understand. I'm sorry it's hard, Waisa.
She straightens up.
Okay.
All right. We should probably get together. Did you see that dragon?
I?
I'm sure that the beach is looking a bit flustered.
I did not hear its roar. Maybe we could have heard that even here.
There's some activity going on.
Should we run to the beach? And then about that time, they start hearing you.
Clink, 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 clink,
clink, clink, clink, clink. Yeah, you're not exactly a stealthy crew at this point.
Oh, look who's coming.
Okay. So y'all go to the little palisades, the little tied-off palisades that you had very initially, way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 24 entered into the camp.
Hill.
A bit up on the hill, yeah.
Small grade up.
Yeah, small grade up, and the Fellowship and Co. is reunited. Grip.
How do they look?
She, maliciously looks, and she can kind of see some of the livid welts, some of your scales that have been crushed on you. What happened? Did you see battle?
Not exactly.
Titus, what happened?
I think it'd be better if Grip told you.
I sense that he's happy.
Yeah.
I met my
She didn't, though.
cousin.
You met your relative.
Yeah, I did.
You were related to that dragon?
I'm gonna cock his head to his side and just kind of is not sure if she's being genuine or not, just kind of looking down.
In Nalishli's deadpan way, she does not offer any further elucidation.
Yeah. I'm a little bit dragon. I don't know if you noticed.
I did.
Oh.
So you had a nice chat.
Well. Yeah. How long would it take you to do whatever you have to do? Your rite or ritual? What does it entail?
It's a few torches, maybe 2, to prepare, to gather, to sit in the presence of Tiscotli.
I think we may have a way.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of Equetel's Law?
Does the Oxcon?
Oh, you know what?
Interesting.
That's going to be really high DC because you failed a bunch of these history checks. But let's see if the Oxcon has it.
Okay, so history, with proficiency.
With proficiency. Yep.
Well, I just don't like history. So.
There's just
really bad
I thought it was another crit.
There's just a blank spot with Okatla and the Green Doom and all of these things. So
Recalls it's not there.
What did you get? What did you get total?
5.
A 5 total. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a name that's unfamiliar to you. You'll recognize Green Doom.
I don't know that word.
But you don't know that word as in the law or
The
Equetel?
law. The Equetel. I don't know that.
Yeah.
word.
So you don't know what that?
No.
You heard of the Green Doom?
I would have at this point. It's long history in my culture.
Yeah. That was his name. Inquedel.
Ooh, and she gets chills. Like she's traveling through time and getting some kind of puzzle piece. Inquedel.
Poddle said, in Inquedel's law, green does not kill green.
Hmm.
He recognized me as kin.
Hmm. So you're saying that you get to be our bait, but not really bait, more of our protection.
Ambassador is more like it.
Hmm.
It's... We need to offer him something.
Hmm.
I want to give him a gift. Homage.
What does he want?
He wants to eat Titus.
Hmm. She just looks over. Hmm.
Just wrong way, yeah.
We're not giving him that gift.
Right.
To any of the rest of you, that would interfere. He might even deign to break the law if I were to push him hard enough.
Hmm.
But he gave me something I didn't know was possible. And if we were to frame it as me wanting to give him a gift in kind, of cleansing his territory of the spirits that plague it, or the pride of a lord who wronged him, it might be enough.
How would I give him my pride?
You would apologize profusely.
I'll stand by my earlier assessment of the situation. It won't matter to him.
I kind of don't want to be eaten.
But that said, I do have something that I can do in the morning that might actually tell us if doing that would be a good idea from a divine perspective. If you allow me in the morning, I can find out.
And the mast is intact.
Yeah, we can probably salvage it and the canvas as well. Consider this. He will not let you go. He might let us leave now, but he will find you eventually. And
I think I might know a gift that might be worth it.
Titus, we need to get home.
and understand.
No idea.
Pulls out the chain.
If you don't fix this now, you'll never see him coming.
I'm aware. What is this? I want to show you the chain that I'm wearing.
What is it?
It protected me from him. Isn't it shining green scales? Tip.
It's a bunch of seashells.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
Essentially, little other bobs and bits.
I can't say. I think the only thing that makes sense to me, rather than forfeiting your life, is by unequivocally stating that he is your superior, that you were wrong to challenge him, that by debasing yourself, you hope to have his forgiveness on yourself and your generations.
I don't like that at all.
Honestly, the more effusive you can be, the better.
I'm not speaking for myself anymore, Grib.
Has he not seen the carnage from our battle and the horrible people that were here on his island? Is that not a gift?
Meaningless to him. Why should it matter?
Because he gets to hold his domain more purely.
They were no threat, no challenge. They were hardly even alive. It's even a difficult sell for you allow you to enact your ritual. He might not care either. That at least, it's closer to where he rests.
Would he like if I spoke to him in Draconic.
The only one that should speak is me.
Yeah, I agree with him on that directly.
And even then, only by his leave.
May I speak, Domini?
Of course.
Grip, you are uniquely qualified to speak on this. I know that. I acknowledge that. But I know this much is true about vicious, prideful men, and mayhaps vicious, prideful dragons. The other side of the sesterce is that once you give them what they say they want, they always take more and more and more. Do you believe he truly will not harm you? Your body would say differently. Because, I mean, now he's starting to, you can see some of the bruising, coming through. He got crushed.
I think he was angry. Not at me. Something about when I said that he let them live.
They?
Us.
Oh.
Did he not let you live?
Mm-mm. He was repelled by Tesserin.
Oh. The warden,
With the ease of brushing away a gnat.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. This will be his domain until he grows tired, grows bored, seeks to claim more territory. Could offer him richer spoils. I don't know what that would be outside of your city.
Is this Tesserin still around?
No.
Tesserin is gone.
I have a question though for you, Grip. It's actually an important one. Let's say that for example, we come to talk to this dragon and we start talking to him and he decides he wants to attack us. Whose side are you on? And it's not a question of your character. It is because he said green does not kill or attack green. So, would you fight for us? Would you abstain from the fight?
Arcus, I think I love you, but is that a fair question to ask the boy?
If we want to talk to a dragon right now, it has to be asked.
He thinks this is his family, maybe. His kin.
And that's why I don't want to be put in a situation like that. Him to be put in a situation where he has to make a choice like that.
Wait, so what of the people of Sorrow's End? Do you think you could speak to them again?
Who?
The people of the village, Sorrow's End.
I could. Weren't there times that were better for the dragon? Times where
People
he was
worshipped.
not nesting.
I don't know much.
Emotional state.
Sure, go ahead. Insight check. As you think back to it, go ahead, Randy. The implication was that the dragon has moved in very recently. Mm-hmm. So you don't know that he actually interacted with the live villagers of Sorrow's End. He just found it a convenient spot.
But wasn't there like a schedule, or did he said oh, I won't touch you till this time? That's what he said.
He said he wouldn't kill me. He said he would kill me at night.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought there was times where he was not.
Yeah, no, that is come and gone now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, there was, but yeah, it's come and gone now. What did you get?
24.
I got 14.
Okay. And you weren't really trying to hide anything? Okay.
He's conflicted.
And with the 24, you get the level deeper, which is there's like an edge of desperation in there, Corey, to interact, and it may well be clouding his judgment. He's obviously intelligent. In fact,
you
privately reassess your own initial assessment of him, of his competence and ability to think through a situation now that he's kind of unfettered. But you're like, I don't know about that.
Can I make a possible segue. I'm going to say this. There is a hut at the place that we live that had one of the most profoundly talented mages in our known world. It stands to reason that at some point in his existence, he may have come across tomes on dragons, on their species, on information in general, and she has control of that.
So this is a very important out-of-character question. Would he have been aware of the relocation of that particular person to that place?
No.
Okay. So that's going to kind of snap him out of his reverie. His name. What was his name?
Phineas? Phineas? Only been once.
Ridiculous.
I believe that's it.
He's in Jaramentum.
He was. He ain't no more. But his hut's still there.
I don't think you needed insight on this one.
Where? Where did he go?
He never told us. He never told us.
Do you have history with Ficulusneus?
Inside check here.
He never told us.
Oh, yes. There's something there.
You could say that.
Well, it is quite best for us all to understand where we all stand here. Because it's important.
Dominate.
Right.
I can see it.
So you're telling me you want to go to the hut of the man who single-handedly rewove the tapestry, thumbed his nose at gods and man alike, and made the world as he saw fit. And there might be there some books on dragons that are going to aid us.
There might be. I mean, it's simple. Distilled down to its base, yeah, it might be. I had no idea he had such, feelings about him.
I am the keeper of that place.
You know where he went?
Not exactly.
Wow.
Do you want to find him?
Yeah.
Is he the one who made your kin fly? Did he make you what you are?
He's going to chuckle to himself at that.
Did he wove what world did you so spitefully speak of?
Well, if we had to point the finger at a prime mover, yeah, let's start there.
I'd agree.
Is there any hatred to Figulus detected?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I feel, but I just wanted to.
No, I want to. Yeah, go ahead and make.
How deep?
This will be the last one on it. But
Yeah, I was gonna wonder if it's
Go ahead.
obvious that he's a victim of Zed.
Go ahead and roll on that because that's specific.
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
What is this?
Insight.
15 for me.
13.
13. So there are layers to it, Corey. Obviously, he's very angry, but you don't think this isn't a clear-cut situation. Right. And you know that when you're dealing with Chosen, it's very unwise to make assumptions about surface reads. So it's, yeah.
Chosen thing, got it. Okay.
And then on a 13 was Zed. He's too young to be someone like who had been directly impacted by it, because this is back in the day that it happened before Publia was, in her own words, old and fat. But, in fact, when Publia wore the very armor that you are now in. However, since he specifically talked, and you're not trying to hide any of this, right? Okay. Since he specifically talked about reshape the world as he saw fit, thumbed his nose and everything, it's like there is something, it feels personal to you. Even though, like I said, he's only, 13 winters or something.
Right. Gotcha.
The narrative.
Either way, we have to get back.
all right, watch it, as they continue to strip things down.
On that note, I have an idea. I'm looking at the palisade gate now.
Mm-hmm.
Could we take that entire thing down as one giant piece and float it out there and float that mass back?
Probably. As you're like looking at it, the dimensions and everything.
In the morning?
Yeah.
What if he comes back?
Who told you to blame him?
What are you talking about? I'm talking about the dragon. What if the dragon comes back?
We'll use you as a shield.
We won't use you as a
I'm
shield.
using.
We won't use you.
I'm just messing
I
around.
believe this is why we should get off the island as soon as possible.
I mean, it feels like there's going to be some kind of risk regardless of what we do. But there's also another possibility that we hadn't actually discussed. It's one of the reasons why I was thinking about asking Toya if she would actually assist us. What about the sea creature herself? We've never tried to entreat with it. We are in a uniquely qualified place.
I'm getting quite annoyed with people offering me up for dessert.
I'm not offering you up for dessert. You know
Please,
that.
every time.
You know I'm not offering you up. But
what does it want?
We don't know. We've never talked to
I'm
it.
assuming it's a lord on plate.
Come on.
Jesus Christ.
We have to do something, and us spending a month here might not be the right thing.
Avad giggles inappropriately at that joke, at that image.
Mm-hmm.
I could find an apple and put it in my own mouth while we're at it, Marcus.
I wonder how she feels about the dragon.
Right? Because none of us have ever actually been able to talk to it. You've gotten a good look at it when we first came in.
I've seen it. It does not look like anything that you can treat with.
She might be something connected to Locke.
Maybe 1,000 sailors will say the same. But they're all drowned and on these crashed rocks.
I hope KPO was drowned. And she's almost like, oh, I said that out loud.
It's
Aye.
At the very least, it's worth exploring as a possibility. We can't just discard it because it's dangerous. Everything we're doing here is dangerous. Whether it's going out to that ship, whether it's spending the next month here, or whether it's talking to her.
Agreed. And also, Waisa, I saw that you did some redecorating.
Yeah, what do you
That's
think?
everything's burning behind us.
What do you think?
I love
Spare
it.
sails.
Was there anything that we've of note?
We've got a nice collection of herbs and alchemical stuff. And these books that I can't translate. Maybe I'll pass them around to see if anyone understands them.
Titus, if that dragon comes back, we fight. We're stronger now than the last time, and it won't take us off guard.
And I have a spell, an invocation that will protect at least one or two of us from poison.
If the dragons come back,
We scatter, so it can't breathe on all of us at the same time, and it can't hurt you.
I will run.
And it still can't, and it still doesn't know that, I don't think. Why?
I can't fall to its poison, and you can, and we can't heal you. The dragon comes back. If it speaks to us, I will hear it. If not, I will run and you will live.
I don't think fighting is the way.
I don't think dying is either.
I don't want to fight. I want to get home. But Titus is our leader, and if it attacks one of us, it attacks all of us. And it needs to understand that as much as we're trying to understand it.
I think it understands that very well. It just doesn't care.
Should we keep that catapult? Oh, what was it? Ballista?
Ballista, yeah. Yeah, you do. There are some catapult and ballista that are there. That is true, Corey.
Dragon.
Yeah, that.
I'm trying to remember. The Oxcon is also protective around poison. Yeah,
No.
it's not.
You have an innate resistance to poison because of what you are. But
What was put around the neck of Okatsun?
something very similar to what he has.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not the that's from a different that's from a different culture,
Okay.
but it's a similar situation.
It seems.
Yep. The one around Okatsun was much more beautiful and kind of like chased with gold and all of that. Yeah.
Slight dig. Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. At any moment, he could choose to kill us all. Even me.
Obviously. That's how this whole island has been.
Then why go
To
forth
kill
your
ourselves?
death?
What else?
Why
do we
not
have to do?
seek a different path?
What other path do you suggest, Grip? You know everything. Why don't you tell us? Because everything else that you're completely holding back, you're holding it back from all of us. I have people I care about back at home. If you want to feel seen, then come to Germantum and feel seen. Until that time, I don't care.
Then leave.
Wonderful. Build us a ship. Or go live with your dragon. I don't care anymore.
Enough. We gotta
Do
stop.
you intend to kill me, Domini?
I intend to have you kill yourself by going and treating with dragons.
Choose now.
I'm gonna walk
Will
out
you
now.
end my life
Kimu-
or not?
I'm
Marcus-
gonna do it
Marcus-
directly between the two of you. I understand.
No. You'll do it yourself if you keep acting like a fool.
We need to take a moment. Enough.
Wayso would speak Draconic. I understand you're mad, but you're directing that at the wrong people.
I just want
Cannot know what it's like. You cannot know what it's like.
You don't know me.
You're not like me.
You're not like me.
No one is.
No one
And
is.
he's just gonna walk away.
Okay. Avad looks at you and says softly, I'll follow him at a distance.
Make sure he's safe. He's just a boy.
And then, okay. What little remains of the crew of the Zephyr continue hard at work.
Are there any other like cloth and tents still in the city? Is that burned?
Yeah.
I'll start pitching in wherever I'm needed at.
They might have gotten the biggest one, but as soon as the captain sees that you're back, he just kind of acknowledges you and then tilts his head. Gives you a little head nod to where he needs you on, because you have a. Remind me, Corey, you had a couple different like smaller sub proficiencies going on.
Navigation, rope handling, and
was there weaving in there or something?
No, I just have sea legs.
Sea legs. Okay, so basically with the rope then, because he obviously didn't know about the canvas, but he was already thinking along those lines. So he's had them cutting down sections of the palisade and retying them and reorganizing them. And he's like, it'd be a shit show, Khalid, but if we absolutely have to, we might rig up a fucking raft and try to get down there. It's 2 honest days. We might die of thirst on the open waters, but we can, I think we might be able to raft it there if we had to. So, as the backup.
There's a pool of water near the beach. Clean water.
That's good to know. Okay. Did you find a mast?
Well suited one.
No shit.
We got lucky.
Thon's balls. All right, great.
Mm-hmm.
Good. We're in business. Okay. Oh, that's the only thing. All right. I heard some raised voices over there. We can have a problem with them?
That is above my pay grade.
Yeah, apparently it's mine if it's a pissing contest between some kind of freak show monobender and a patrician.
The idea of getting a palisade to help retrieve that mass and hull seems like a good idea.
Okay, and they're going to help us?
Yeah. Always leave.
I need that kid's brain. If he can do what he says he can do.
He's conflicted right now. He wishes to
Well, go glad handle him. Make sure that he's on our side. Make sure that we have his knowledge. When the moment's right.
He's off storming. Who knows what.
Okay, yeah. Well.
But I'll try.
You know, just between you and me, I wish you'd just beaten his brains out.
He has his uses.
Yeah, he's fucking chosen, isn't he?
I believe so.
You know what happens with them? They just get stronger. I've been around enough of these people to know there are more of them hiding around Leptis Regium than you might. He looks around, and you might think.
They have their uses. They are good.
Yeah, they have their uses. That's true.
We'll make friends with them.
A fire can warm you. A fire can also set you ablaze and immolate you.
We have a chance to be a harbor master if we need to. Useful. And then you already own your own ship. I would like to have my own at some point in my life.
And the priest who can do miracles.
He's something.
He gives you a hard look. You know, there are people in Leptis Region that would really like to know about that. Really like to know about that.
I wouldn't be surprised if they already haven't.
Do these fools even know? Do they even know what Gladius Lux is? Rhetorical question. Don't answer that.
Is it our problem? Or are we going to be merchants and do what we normally do?
I don't know. Is it our problem? That's why I'm asking you.
Our problem is...
It's not for your pretty face that I've kept you around and that I promoted you to first mate. It's because you're one of the slyest motherfuckers I've ever run across. What do you think? Are they our problem? Or do we just need to get the hell off of this place and then valet?
Let's get back to Geramentum.
Practical as always, Khalid, and he gives you a slap on the shoulder. Okay, all right.
So have you guys been to Geramentum before?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been import.
They've been import.
Trade.
Yeah, they've been import. They haven't. I don't think you guys have got really into the city.
So I didn't know if I saw when I said my name, if you would have recognized it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, they had slaves on their ship, so they're not going into the city and showing you that.
Oh yeah.
That is not cool there. Okay.
It is not.
Our art director may be sad because he was looking forward to a 3-hour step-by-step instructional video from Tobias on shipbuilding.
Take a bit of a left turn there.
as it well could have. I'm wondering if I can explain something this session. In that context, I'm going to, unless someone does something radically different, we're going to make a couple rolls here, and we're going to see how this plan comes together or not.
I don't think I rolled yet, so yeah, good. I'm psyched.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Not every session. You don't need to roll in every session.
I'm cool with it.
Okay. So as you're kind of clear your head eventually, which takes a while, and it's good that you walked away because you're about to start to get rocking the draconic temper as the hairless ape screamed at you. Make a final conception roll on trying to abstract out the ship.
That's a natural 20.
Yay!
Okay.
Wow.
That helped.
Good.
Thank God. Tensions on this island are high.
You find the solution as it comes to you that night, where you understand Corey's favorite phrase in real life: how to split the difference.
Corporate cord.
Yeah. So the pieces of the ship that are the pieces of this burgeoning ship, in this incipient ship, that you're putting together, that you can essentially plug and play. Those you don't need to get into a proper cradle. There are going to be a few. A few sections of the keel that you do need to make a cradle for. Otherwise, you risk disaster. But you think, as you're running it through your head, and you do have a really high intelligence, so even though you are largely governed by your emotions, but the brain's there when you're calm.
Reluctant sage.
A reluctance. Oh, that's right. That's right. Go us during character gen. So you kind of juggle the constituent parts, and then in the morning, assuming y'all are cool with just kind of moving on, after that, you start barking out or hissing out orders of what needs to be done. And for once, the captain, once you're engaged, the captain kind of looks at you, looks at the second mate, and just all kind of nod to each other. Okay, here we go. And you, Vampire the Masquerade term, you diablerize that tent. You just cannibalize the hell out of the thing and grow stronger from the doing of it. Or not the tent, the camp rather. And you carve up that camp like a Thanksgiving turkey. Taking the worked and treated wood over there, you make it a pet project, Khalid, to collect enough collect enough tent to have a backup sail in case disaster hits. Yeah, and
I mean, she's out there, so
yeah. Oh no, it could happen. No, this whole thing is predicated if Her Marine Majesty attacks you as badly, with as much power and force and determination as you did when you came in, you're not leaving.
I'll walk up and ask the dragon to eat me at that point.
So that, and then Marcus, make a labor roll and be a con-based.
Your labor?
Con-based roll.
Yes.
Because he's just a strong back.
No, I got a 15 on the roll.
That's good. That's really good.
Plus 3, so 18 total.
Okay, and I was actually going to make you a squad captain, so you help set the pace for the ones who are still reluctant. At some point, you catch a glimpse, because you're working cheek to jowl with this guy, of the cook meat, and you see that someone has cut his tongue out. And that's why you haven't heard him say anything.
Is he Command or?
No, he's Old Empire.
Old Empire, okay.
Probably born in Leptis Regime, but of Old Empire stock.
I want to ask you something. If I had the ability to give you back your tongue, would you allow me to try? With the understanding it might not work.
He walks away from you, and you disrupt the group a bit by asking.
Stop being weird, Marcus.
The cabin boy, Lucius, and he was just joking. He wasn't serious. He wasn't serious. He's just, they've been on this island longer than we have.
You saw me heal the guy on the ground.
Sure.
Cornelius.
Sure.
Oh, obviously.
Regrowing some.
And sometimes when you have done everything that you have to do to get past your trauma, and somebody says they can give it back to you, that can be a horrible thing.
Yeah, I
okay, so Lucius does his job though and manages to gentle the cook back into service. I assume you're working, so go ahead and make a labor roll yourself.
Patching all the things together with rope or whatever I mean.
So yeah, con, but with proficiency.
It's con?
Yeah, for this.
That would be that plus proficiency, so that would be 14.
Okay. Titus, obviously you're going to help, I assume, however you can.
Unless it's my rope proficiency, then it's more.
Because it'd be that is with proficiency.
Well, right. Okay, you're right. So then that would be instead of a 14, it'd be 16.
Yeah. You have a 20 strength now. I don't know why I keep thinking in my head you have an 18. So you're right on the edge of being superhumanly strong. Like some of the feats that you pull off as a captain, and the captain and the rest of the crew are staring at you, they gasp, because these are all, regardless of their backgrounds, these are all now physical men. I mean, they know what force is, and they know what you should be able to do. You're well built and everything, but there's no way that you could move what you're moving. But kind of once they factor that in, and then Grip with your nat 20, you factor in that freakish strength of his in some of your plans, and you kind of skip some time. So you are on the verge of doing this very, very quickly, much faster than you should be able to. I'll give my final ruling next session. That night, So this was after the argument with Grip. We'll end with this.
Mm-hmm.
You, Titus, where are you sleeping?
Probably
open stars.
Open stars.
With the rest of the fellowship taking and watch, and whatever the watch order would be, it's fine.
Yeah.
When you actually bed down to sleep, you have a restless night as these images of howling, of inhuman howling, and screams and ululations of bloodlust fueled emoting echo around a structure that you know all too well. It's not any arena that you would recognize, but you do recognize it as such. And you can feel that you're not you in this dream. You're someone else.
When I turn, do I see my hair is a color green?
Your hair has been tightly woven and bound to your scalp, but you can feel the hair tight there. You can smell the trick that you've played of slathering yourself with pig fat to be harder to grip. And that your opponent hadn't accounted for this monstrous thing that's taller than the walls of Geramentum and broader than a horse turned sideways, than an equine turned sideways, as it's lumbering around, but not so quick, but not so much lumber, quicker than it should be. And you have a moment of feeling a bodily and spiritual reciprocity, and you know that this is what it feels like to be in the body of your beloved in this moment. What are your thoughts then? Or feelings?
Pride.
And that's where we'll end it.
Yeah, that's all.
Friends, thank you very much for staying with us for this journey.
Little romp.
For this lighthearted, just so, a lighthearted little romp. We appreciate you so much, especially Ruby Rod, since you have continued to.
Coming.
And I will just say I will be able to say more next session because I don't want to spoil anything, but you are making some moves, and this session could have gone very, very differently. So well done, well done on that.
Yay!
Hooray!
Okay. Let us know who you think was MVP. Do the thing.
Hello, Tails.
And let the world know. This. And I'm going to be doing my thing on Thursday, I think, instead of Friday. I'll put that on Discord and in the comments, because I think Friday I'm going to be unavailable for After Dark, but we'll talk about that. Okay, thank you so much. Take care of yourselves as you're on your journey out there. Stay curious.
Bye.